and welcome to Cooking from the Cupboards. If you're new here, my name is Heather and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are prepping because we are doing the pantry challenge. So I want to use some pinto beans. I just got these out of a bucket, so that's why there's no lid. But I have pinto beans that I want to use up. So we're going to sort them, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with those. So I'm going to sort my beans. So you take your dry beans, whether they're in a package or a jar or whatever. You place them on your counter, your table, wherever you're working, and you're going to sort them. And sorting means we're going to look through them and make sure that we don't have any rocks or debris or some nasty looking beans. Sometimes they have little holes in them that you can see. Or if they're just really just kind of deformed or something, you can just pull those out. So what I do is I'm going to take them and I'm going to slowly pull them off to the side here. I'm going to look through them, make sure that there's no rocks, no debris, no nothing on them. And I'm going to put them off to the side. This one I'm going to pull out because he looks a little wonky, okay? So I'm going to pull them off to the side and then I'm going to stick them into my bowl. Now, normally I would sit like at my dining room table and have the bowl in my lap. And then as I'm sorting, I'd sort towards me and pop them into the bowl. So that's normally how I would do it. And you just sit here and sort. This one has a nasty hole in it. I don't like the look of that one. I'm going to pull it off to the side. And we're just going to pull out anything that looks nasty, rocks, whatever. So we're going to sort through all of this, put it in our bowl. I don't have much of a lip. It's kind of hard to get in my bowl. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue to do that for this, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Whoa. All right, now that all my beans are sorted, you just, whatever breed. You can buy the cheap ones that you get anywhere, even up to organic. You still need to sort your beans because you do not want to bite into a rock. Now I'm doing a half gallon worth of beans because I'm going to make 3 to 5 recipes with these, and I'm going to pre-cook them. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just prepping them. So now I'm going to rinse them twice. I'm going to do a quick rinse and then drain the water. And then I'm going to fill the bowl and rinse it and agitate my beans and get any dirt and debris that's still on them. Then I'm going to drain it off, and then I'm going to fill it up with water. All right, I'll meet you back here when I get to that point. Okay, so I got them rinsed and agitated and rinsed. I rinsed them twice. I started adding water, then I'm like, oh, I need to go in front of the cameras here. So we have water. We're going to fill it up almost to the top because you want to soak your beans. And we're going to soak these for overnight. So I won't do anything with these until tomorrow. So let me get this finished filled up and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I have it mostly filled up with water, and I'm going to fill it up to the top as far as I can. I'll finish filling it up to the rim after I move my bowl, because I'm going to put it off to the side over here on the other counter. But I am going to cover my bowl. Now, I generally use my water bath counter lid on my bowl this big. So I'm going to take my counter lid, and I'm just going to put it over here. And the only reason why I'm going to do that is I don't want any bugs or dirt or debris to get into here. Because we're going to let these soak for like 24 hours. Because we want our beans to swell up. They're going to absorb that water. And they're going to swell up. And then we're going to be able to cook them. Now you're probably asking, why am I doing a half gallon worth of beans? Well, I'm going to make 3 to 4 recipes with this. And I'm planning ahead. If I'm going to go through the trouble of sorting, rinsing, and soaking my beans, I'm going to do a quantity of them to use them. And anything that I don't use in my recipes, I can freeze into little zippy bags in the freezer. I generally do a 1 cup and just mark them as cooked pinto beans and put them in the freezer. And that way they're really easy to make refried beans with, or add to a soup or a stew or tacos or whatever. So they're not going to go to waste. I just want to, if I'm going through the trouble of cooking beans, I'm going to cook beans and I'm going to do a quantity of them. So these are our pinto beans. They are going to soak for 24 hours. And I will see you tomorrow when we're going to use these to get started to cook. Okay, so we're continuing on with our pinto beans. These have been soaking for over 24 hours and they're nice and juicy and bubbly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them to the sink and put them in a colander. I'm going to drain them. I'm going to rinse them, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I drained them and I rinsed them really well till they rinsed clean. So these are the beans. I put them in 2 different bowls because you do want to rinse out your bowl before you put your soaked beans into them. But I did want to show you the difference. Here we have dry pinto beans. See how small they are? And then after soaking for 24 hours, this is what they're going to look like. Okay, so they do get quite a bit bigger. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put some into my big Instapot here. There's my big one. I'm going to put them in the Instapot and I'm going to cook them on the bean setting. And I'm probably going to add another 5 or 10 minutes on them because I want them very well cooked. And I am going to season them with some salt and some chicken bouillon, I think. And I think that's all I'm going to do. So let me get this set up and I'll be right back. All right, so this is my bigger Instant Pot insert here. And I'm just going to pour the beans in. See how many I got. I might have to do 2 rounds. I'm not sure. Because remember, I did a half a gallon of beans because I'm going to make 3 to 4 recipes with this. And I'm just prepping them for later on. So I'm going to take them, and I have it about half full in my Instapot here. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's right at the half sign. So I'm going to take a little bit of Redmond's real salt. I'm not going to add too much because I'm going to add some bouillon, which is going to have some salt in it. But it's going to give it a nice chicken flavor, and it's going to help season these beans. And I'm going to use, I have some Knorr chicken, just the Knorr chicken here. And I just store it into a mason jar here. So I'm going to put in 3 of the little cubes. I'm going to put 3 of them in here. And then I'm going to fill the water up to max. So I've added some water. I'm going to add some more. I'm going to fill it up to the max line. All right, about there. That's really close. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this into my Instapot, and I'm going to use the bean setting, and I'll probably add 5 or 10 minutes to it because I want them well cooked. So I'm going to get these in the Instapot, and I'll be right back on the next. Okay, so with the rest of the beans that I have that I couldn't fit into the other Instapot, I'm going to put into my smaller one. So I'm just going to add the beans just like before. Now, if you soak so many beans and you don't want to use them all for cooking, if you pressure can, these are perfect for pressure canning at this point because they're soaked and swollen and ready to go. So you could pressure can those. If I have any left over, I am going to put them in my freeze dryer. But for right now, we're going to get them ready for some recipes for the week. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt, not as much as the other one because this one doesn't have as many. So I'm just doing 1 little teaspoon here. I'm going to do 1 cube of the Knorr's chicken bouillon. I'm going to put 1 of those in there. And then I'm just going to add the water. And I'm going to fill this up probably a good inch or so above the beans because I don't need to fill it to the max because it's not full. So I'm going to put this one in the mini Instapot, the smaller one. And I'm going to add another 10 minutes to the cook time. And then we'll have 2 pots of beans ready to go for our recipes. I'll see you when they're done. Okay, so now with the rest of the beans, because I cooked a half gallon of the pinto beans, and so I made extra on purpose. I did do 2 recipes. I'm not going to do the third one because we can't eat all that much food. So I'm going to take these because they're already cooked, and I'm going to put them in my freeze dryer. Now, I have a small freeze dryer, so it's not a lot. So I'm going to load up my trays here. Pretty easy. Simple as this. And then I'm going to spread them out. And when they're done being freeze dried, I will grind them up into powder and they'll be cooked beans. So I can make some easy refried beans, or I could add it to things to thicken it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Okay, and these are freeze dried cooked pinto beans. I had done these back in November. And this is what they'll look like. They're nice, light, and airy. And so I'll put these like in the blender or the food processor and powder them up. And then I'll just add some water and I can make refried beans with it. Or I can use it to thicken a soup or something if I needed to. So I'm going to pop these back in here. These do have an oxygen absorber, I can't speak, in here. And then I will vacuum seal this. But that is what I'm going to do with the rest of these. And the few that I have left, I'll show you what I'll do with those. Okay, so I estimated correctly on if I was to make the 3 recipes, but I'm only going to make 2. So with the rest, I have a little more than 2 cups. So I am going to put that into a quart freezer bag. So I'm going to write on here cooked pinto beans, 125. And I'm going to do 2+ cups. So I'm going to get that filled up. In there. Okay. Now that I have that, what I'm going to do is, of course, get rid of the air. And I'm going to squish it flat. And then I'm going to pop this in the freezer. And so when I want some pinto beans really, really quickly to add to a soup, I generally do this for refried beans, but I have some set up ready to go. So if I want to do a quick chili and I don't have any canned beans on the shelf, I have some that are ready to go that are in the freezer, or I can use the ones from the freeze dryer. So that is what I did with the half-gallon thing of pinto beans. I sorted them, rinsed, soaked. I cooked them. I've made 2 recipes with them. I'm going to freeze dry some, and then a little bit will go into the freezer. All right. I hope you can use some pinto beans in this pantry challenge because it's easy to do and a lot of people have them. Pinto beans.